Well, hello everybody. My name is Keith Dyer. I am the editor of the Mobile Network. For joining us online, we're here in Copenhagen at TM Forum's DTW Ignite. We're on the AWS Next Level stage, and I'm joined by Danielle Royston, who is acting CEO of Totogi and known probably more widely in the industry simply as Dyer.
Yep.
So Dyer, we're here to talk about the transformational power of Gen AI and AI in telco businesses, and a little bit about this brand new BSS product you've got, BSS Magic.
Yep.
Lovely to speak to you.
Yeah, no, it's so great to be here. AWS is an amazing partner, and we have a little bit of popcorn, a little bit of candy, and it's opening day of TM Forum, and so it's wonderful.
It's great. Once we've done this, I'll get stuck into the popcorn.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe we'll get some people, eating their popcorn as they watch us get into it as well. We here this morning, I was in the first session, the keynote session, a lot of talk about the urgent need for operational and business transformation, working to instrument AI through the networks to automate operations, to get different business outcomes. And the TM Forum were keen still to talk about the underlying enabler that is their open digital architecture, ODA. I know Totogi, you made a big noise about we signed up for so many of their APIs. What do you see is important about the ODA?
Yeah, I mean, the ODA is super important work. Lester Thomas from Vodafone was on a podcast a few years ago where he said across their 24 OpCos, each OpCo has about 180 BSS systems installed. And so when you multiply that complexity, that's 4,000 plus different vendors in their ecosystem. They're trying to do upgrades, they're trying to do CRs, and kind of move at the pace of business, and you can understand the complexity. So the ODA and that interoperability of the vendors is super important. It's what we need, obviously. So it's great work, and I think in the last 3 or 4 years, it's really taken off. We've seen a lot more vendors come into that API leaderboard. Certainly Totogi, we like to think that we're the ones who kicked it off and got it going, but we raced to the top, and a lot of other vendors have followed, and so we are super excited about that. But there's a problem with the ODA, and the problem is computer science. So each one of the vendors has their own data structure, their own schema, and that makes it very difficult to have that interoperability, which is the goal of the TM Forum. And so sure, you can set it up one time, but when you start to change it out, how do you make sure that the integrity and the semantical meaning of the data structure still carries through? So I think it's a great start. It's totally needed, but there's still more work that we need to do to fulfill the vision of the ODA.
Yeah, I read a post you said it's not the whole enchilada. So you're talking about that need for, if you like, other ingredients to enable it. But maybe we just take a tiny step back. The ODA itself, what's it designed to do for those that don't know? How does that?
Yeah, the whole idea is creating a common language across these BSS systems from different vendors. And so like I mentioned, imagine if you're Lester Thomas in an OpCo, you have 180 different systems being installed. You're doing all the integration stitching to pass the data around to the different components of what is a BSS. And that's difficult to maintain. I think previously we did it with expensive CRs, and it made just upgrading even one vendor was super difficult. And so the promise of the ODA is interoperability, the ability to switch out these components whenever you want very quickly, and all the integration code stays the same. But the problem is that there's semantical meaning in that integration code. And I'll give you an example. Let's pretend you have an account field that is based on numbers only, right? And you write all your code, and all your systems expect an account number with numbers only. It's an integer. But now you pull in a new vendor that has alphanumerics, and now everything kind of falls apart. And so it's all great if we all use the same data structure, but all the vendors have different data structures. And so I think the key is creating a harmonized data structure, and that's what BSS Magic is aiming to do. And thankfully, generative AI is really, really good at understanding data structures and creating a harmonized version.
So you mentioned BSS Magic, generative AI. So a little bit about that then. How are you going to get past, as you say, these different data structures, the semantic issues you've identified by using BSS Magic? What does it do?
Yeah, at our core, and we're showing it here in the AWS booth, and if you're watching this later, certainly set up a meeting with us so we can show you. But we're showing it here in the booth, and we start at its core with what we call an AI-enabled data structure. So we harmonize the data across an existing incumbent's BSS, not even our own stuff, right? We're not even requiring people to swap out and start new. We'll start with what you got, and we'll pull in that data structure and harmonize it. And then we're hopefully going to coin a new phrase, an AI PI, an AI API that allows you to interact with that data structure. You can do easy things like help me solve a customer's support ticket, or more complicated things like help me generate more revenue for my telco. Give me insights to create better plans and more profit for my business. What AI is so great at is generating code. I think that's the real amazing power of this technology. And so we're really going out after the billions of dollars of CR revenue and enabling a business user to generate new functionality, create a new screen, add a new field, right? And so this is where I think the power of AI is really going to take off. And, today, is that where we're at? No, but that's where we're going. And it's going to be really exciting.
Conceptually, if you like, BSS Magic is then almost an intelligent layer over the existing BSS
Exactly.
system, accessing the data that's required to build use cases,
Yeah,
right? So
exactly.
And then you've got that piece where you're talking about building code. So that's something else. That's saying, okay, I want to be able to do this thing, go and make that
Exactly.
happen. But me as a business person doing it, not as a
Yeah,
guy
just
doing
think
code.
about what it takes to get new functionality added today, right? Most vendors have a walled garden around their system. And so they don't let the telco IT department do it, rarely. They're like, go to a technical person, explain as a business person what I'm trying to accomplish, take that to a vendor, get a CR quote. It has 6 zeros in it to get it done, right? In 3 months, right? 3 months go by, you get it back. Hopefully it works, right? And so we're really trying to shortcut that, empower the business user to get what they want by using your voice. And I think it's just going to be such a big difference for telcos and for the world, frankly, with AI.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit more, sort of in detail, technically, how you're doing that? Because you've identified the problem, what's actually happening.
Yeah. And so we started with a real customer. A year ago, I bought STL, right? We have STL customers installed around the world. This is a, installed incumbent BSS system filled with customizations. It's an older version. It's just a mess. And so we put BSS Magic on top of a real deployed system, and that's what you see here in the AWS booth. And then we just started going. We're like, can we answer support tickets? Totally. Easy. Can we change a screen? Yeah, that was actually really easy. Can we take a piece of the BSS and overlay it like new functionality? Absolutely. Can we ask it business questions like, what are my top 10 plans? What is my most profitable area? Amazing. And so it surprises us. Like we ask the LLM questions and we're like, holy crap, like the power that we're giving to business users to create new functionality, to ask questions of the business is just going to be phenomenal. This is so much more than a co-pilot, right? I think when you go out in the quad and you talk to different BSS vendors, I think they're really adding, a co-pilot. The human is still interacting with the answer and deciding if it's right. And my vision really is co-workers or even just autonomous agents, right? I think the future of BSS UIs are going to change dramatically over the next 5 to 10 years. Like just the interface will become invisible. And so like Wayne Gretzky, the hockey great, says skate to where the puck's going to be.
Yeah.
I think the puck is going to be very AI forward, and in 10 years, what we know as BSS will be completely different.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that sounds like they used the word scary a couple of times on the main stage. It sounds slightly scary for a telco to say, okay, I need to skate to where there's zero UI from where I am now.
Yeah.
Is it achievable? What?
I think it's going to be just a series of rapid evolutions. And so, I've been talking about adopting the public cloud. I think that is a big key to it. Like creating so much more agility in our telco. Today, we do big bang implementations, big, huge transformations, not a lot of changes, and then we install something big, and it's huge change. And what we really need to get to is smaller changes more frequently and building resilient processes so that that evolution on that AI can be incremental, but also in a short period of time, we make big leaps. And so Are we ready for it? No. Do we need to? Absolutely. And I think the reason why is just what happened with Apple last week. They announced Apple Intelligence. And now, millions, if not billions, of iPhone users are going to be immersed gladly into a zero interface where you just talk to Siri. Siri will actually work and understand what we're saying, but we're going to just talk to Siri now and not actually use our fingers and use our eyeballs. And so if our subscribers are having that experience, and that's what they're expecting from their phones and by extension their telcos are not ready, and we're going to be forced to support it. So I think, yeah, here we go, and it's coming, whether you like it or not.
Okay, great. And where can we see demos? How do we experience it? And are there a sort of couple of concrete examples you can give us as well? So.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best example is when we show you running on an incumbent system. We like to install it and let you play with it. Obviously, here in the AWS booth, we're super excited to partner with them and show it. But give us a call. Let's just start playing with AI. And I think ChatGPT is coming out this summer. ChatGPT 5 is coming out this summer. Anthropic keeps evolving. Elon Musk will come out with a new open source version. And so our stuff is built in a way that we can ride those LLM waves. It's a rocket ship. So we got to attach like barnacles because it's taken off.
Okay,
Yeah.
Perfect. Popcorn for all and AI everywhere. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks, Keith.
Okay,
Thanks so
thank
much.
you.